View from a balcony, pulling the blue lawn chairs next to the ice chest. Stuffed 2 grams in the blunt that we just blew. Now I'm getting blown by a bitch who I don't know her name. Cold chain hanging, got a few in the room, but I don't wear them out. Only wear them in the house, cause I shine so bright that I wanna blind you.
To which, in terms, got Sasuke to deliver a firm blow to the back of his head. Be quiet, you idiot. Do you want to attract attention? Just picture the situation you're in right now, Sasuke said, looking at him. Naruto then nodded and looked at him. But why do you want me to stab you? I mean, you could die if I do, Naruto asked, looking at the male. Yes, and that's part of the plan. You see, when you stab me, I'm going to wait until you get over the gates, and when you do, I'll walk over there and do some acting. When they see how bad I am bleeding, they'll take me to the hospital, giving you the chance you need to get out of the village. When you're finally out of the village, I'll tell them that you are the one who stabbed me. And when I told the others, we'll start to look for you, not realizing that you have already left the village, Sasuke said, looking at him. But where am I supposed to go? Naruto asked, looking at the male in front of him. Go to the one of the other village. You want to be a ninja, right? Well, what better way than going to on of the other, Sasuke said, looking at him. Naruto looked like he was starting to doubt the plan, so Sasuke decided to remind him what it was he was doing this for. Remember, Naruto, you need to get out of this village. If you ever want to get better life, trust me, I know what I'm doing, Sasuke said, looking at him. Naruto thought about it, what he said for a moment, before he nodded and looked at him. Alright, I'll do it, Naruto said, looking at him. Alright, good. Just give me a moment to prepare myself, otherwise, I might go into shock mode, said Sasuke, looking at him. Naruto then nodded and looked at him. Sasuke then nodded at at him, then put out his arms. All right, I'm ready whenever you are, the young male said. Naruto then nodded and dashed forward. When he did, Sasuke closed his eyes and felt a sharp pain in his stomach. Sasuke then opened his eyes to see that the kunai was in his stomach. Naruto then pulled it out, causing the blood to drip on the floor. Alright, get out. Going and make it quick before I pass out from blood loss, Sasuke said, looking at him. Naruto then nodded and ran across the streets and made his way beside the front gates. When he did, he hid in the bush that happened to be the entrance. Sasuke saw this and began to walk towards the gate. Help me, said Sasuke in a weak tone. Both of the males heard this and looked to see what's going on. When they did, the only thing they saw was the blood coming from Sasuke. They both almost instantly they got out and ran towards him. Sasuke then fell down in front of them. One of them put their hand on Sasuke and began to panic. Oh no, he's cold. We need to get him to the hospital, one of the males said as he picked the young Uchiha up. To two then dashed off. Naruto saw this and looked at the village gate. He then took a deep breath and began to run through the woods. When he did, only one thought crossed his mind. Thank you, Sasuke. Naruto was currently running through the woods. He hadn't once stopped running since he left Konoha. He was out of breath, and even with his legendary stamina, running for a long period of time can really do a number on you. He stopped in front of a tree and looked up at the sky. When he did, he finally noticed how dark it was. The moon was already in the center of the sky, and several of the stars had already made their presence known. As he looked up at the sky, he sighed and his stomach let out a loud growl, which in honesty wasn't that surprising. He had been running ever since he left Konoha, stopping for almost for no reason. When he did stop, it was only to use the bathroom. Naruto then took a bag from his backpack, then looked through it to see what Sasuke had given him for when he left the village. Surprisingly, he had a little to no food inside it. However, Naruto wasn't a very picky eater, and when he found an apple waiting for him inside, he didn't hesitate to take it. When he took his first bite, he felt some of the juice run down his mouth slightly. However, as he eating, he heard something that sounds very strange. It wasn't a human that much. He could be sure of it. Sounds like an animal was hurting. He, against his better judgment, got up and walked towards the sound. When he got there, he saw that there was a fox in a bear trap. Naruto was a little worried of it at first, seeing how it was growling at him and showing its teeth. However, for a reason knowing to him, it quickly calmed down. Seeing this, Naruto decided to slowly make his way closer to the small creature. When he was about a foot away, he reached for it, and like before, it shows his teeth and start to growl at him. When he did this, he pulled his hand away and stopped. As the blonde looked at the small animal before him, he found himself looking at his paw and feeling sorry for it. He knew what that feels like when not being in the bear trap but having no one else there for you. Naruto then reached for the bear trap and the fox once again started to growl at him. This only stopped Naruto for a second or two as he continued to reach for it. The small metal voice, when he did, saw the large fox forward and tried to bit him. He jerked his head back quickly when he saw this and looked at the fox. Alright, look, buddy, I'm just trying to help you. If you want me to get you out of this, you're going to have to trust me. After I get you out of this thing, you can do whatever you want and roam free like before, Naruto said, and looking at the small creature. This, however, didn't stop the fox to growl at him. When Naruto reached for the small device for the second time, he saw that the fox was watching him carefully. When he got closer to the metal trap like before, the fox launched at him. Only difference between this time, the last time began to began that fox actually did bite him. Naruto squeezed his eyes shut in pain. However, he then relaxed very quickly. Huh? You know your bites doesn't hurt as much as I thought it would, Naruto said, looking at the small animal that was currently biting one of his hand. He didn't know why the bite didn't hurt, but to him it really didn't matter as he once again reached for the small metal device. The fox eventually tired and released the blonde from his jaw. Naruto then placed his hand on each part of the device and started to pray to Jesus and pieces of the metal parts and shrug, struggled with it just a bit. When he was wide enough for the fox to escape, the animal wasted no time to remove his paw from the trap. When he did, Naruto let go of the trap, forcing the two jaw pieces to snap together. Once again, when Naruto looked at the fox, it stared at him for a moment before it ran away into the woods. Naruto then sighed as he once again looked at the apple he had been eating. It gotten dirt all over it, and all the parts that he had eaten had already started to have grown brown spots on it. When he saw this, he sighed and turned the apple around and started to eat it once again. As long as he avoids the dirty spots, it should do any harm, right? Naruto then felt a yawn come to the surface. When it did, he sighed and placed this book bag on top of himself to keep himself warm. As he slept, he felt his body shaking slightly, but it eventually stopped when he felt a deep into slumber in Konoha. Hirushin had just arrived at the village. However, he was a little surprised to see what he did. He saw several ups and several people drinking sakes and while eating food that were usually expensive. As he walked by in all the confusion, he looked at the man to his right. I wanted to you to tell me what's going on when I get to the Hokage's office, he said in a very confused manner. The Ambu nodded through his mask and jumped into the air. Hiruzen only saw him clearly a few buildings before he vanished out of sight. His worries only grew as he saw the large sign in front of the gates that leads to the Hokage man mansion that reads, "We finally did it." As he slowly walked up stairs, he saw the man who was running the bottom counter, looking away. In fact, Hiruzen, his facial expression looked to hold a mix of both nervousness and fear. As he walked up to the steps, he had a theory about what had happened, and to put it simply, he didn't like it. As he opened the door to the Hokage office, he saw the man that he had sent to gather info no more than 5 minutes ago, standing there, not by himself though. He had also had two other people who were also wearing ombu masks standing behind him, looking what he would describe as nervous. He didn't need to see their face to know what they were. He has been a ninja for more than 4 decades. He had more than learned to pick up if someone was nervous just from their body language. As he sat down, he looked at the three in front of him. He then got his pipe and started to smoke. The member that was in front of each other of two then stepped forward. Lord Third Hokage, I have learned what is going on, and to put it simply, while you were gone, a lot of things happened, he said, looking at him. Hiruzen then blew out a cloud of smoke and looked at the man that was standing no less than 3 feet in front of him. All right, please start telling me, Hiruzen said, sticking his pipe back into his mouth. Right, you two were assigned to protect Naruto while you were gone, the man asked, looking at him. Hiruzen then looked at him